Today, we're diving into something really special, a timeless path to joyful living, straight from the Bhagavad Gita. Now, this isn't some far-off, impossible dream. It's a journey that's open to every single one of us, starting right here, right now. So you might be wondering, where on earth does a journey like this even begin?
Well, it all kicks off with this incredibly powerful idea. It's saying that who you were yesterday, or last year, or 10 years ago, it just doesn't have to define your spiritual future. It's like the slate is wiped clean. The only thing that really truly matters, the only ticket you need, so to speak, is a sincere heart.
So let me just ask you this directly. What if everything you thought was a permanent mark against you, all those mistakes, what if they could just be wiped away? This is the huge promise we're going to explore today, the incredible power of forgiveness and the chance for a genuinely new beginning. And that leads us straight to our first big principle. See, the starting line isn't about mastering complicated rituals or meeting some impossible standard. Nope. It's about something way more personal, way more profound, just making a sincere decision to change your heart and change your direction. To really get this, let's use a super simple analogy. Picture a student in a classroom. This kid is always acting up, causing trouble, just making it hard for anyone, including themselves, to learn anything. But then, one day, something shifts. This student has a real, genuine breakthrough. It's not for show. It's a sincere change of heart. They decide they actually want to learn. They want to focus. And that word, sincerity, that's the absolute key here. So how does the teacher react? Does she bring up all his past troublemaking, hold a grudge? No way. She sees that sincerity, that genuine desire to change, and she's just thrilled to help. She instantly offers her full support. And that, right there, is a beautiful picture of what divine forgiveness is like. This whole idea has a name. It's often called complete surrender. It's that moment you turn to God with the exact same sincerity as that student, with real, true devotion. And the result? Instant forgiveness. It's a promise of support for anyone, no matter what's in their past, who just wants to start this spiritual journey. Okay, so if forgiveness is the gateway, what does the path itself actually look like? Well, the Gita lays out a surprisingly clear and structured journey. It's basically 4 steps. Let's walk through them. So it all starts with step 1, moving from adharma to dharma. In plain English, that just means shifting from actions that are harmful to a life that's based on right principles. Then comes step 2, surrender. You start turning to God for guidance in, well, everything. That naturally leads to step 3, which is gaining real knowledge by actually following that divine guidance. And where does all this lead? To the final destination, step 4, arriving at a state of true, lasting, joyful living. Now, a map is great, but you also need the right tools for the journey, right? To help us navigate these 4 steps, Lord Krishna gives us a kind of practical toolkit. It's made up of 5 key pieces of advice. First, set the right objective. Use your smarts to focus on the real goal, reaching God, not just temporary stuff. Second, fill your mind. You've got to actively fill it with thoughts of God so it doesn't get pulled away by fleeting pleasures. Third, be a devotee. Use prayer and doing the right thing as your main go-to tools. Fourth, act in God's name. This was cool. It's about turning every single thing you do into a kind of sacred offering. And finally, number 5, be absorbed. Just follow this advice sincerely, and eventually you become like a tool in God's hands. So we've talked about the path, and we've got our toolkit. But what about the destination? What does this joyful living actually feel like? What's the nature of this state we're aiming for? There's this amazing metaphor that helps explain it. It says that once you have that absolute knowledge of God, the world itself doesn't magically change, but your perception of it totally transforms. Earth becomes like a theme park. The rides, the ups and downs, they're all still there, but now you experience them with a sense of joy and wonder instead of fear and suffering. You see, it's all about this brilliant shift in focus. You stop identifying with the impermanent, ever-changing world and this mortal body, which is where all our suffering comes from. Instead, you start identifying with the permanency of God, which is a state of pure stability and joy. Your attention just moves from the temporary to the eternal. And ultimately, this is where the journey culminates, in the highest state you can possibly imagine. That individual sense of me, the ego that creates all the separation and pain, it just drops away. And what's left is a complete merging, a total union with the divine source of all joy. So as we close this out, let's bring it right back home to our own lives. Forget about some huge, difficult gesture. Just think about this. What is one small action you could take today, not from a place of pushing and striving, but from a place of gentle surrender? That's definitely something worth thinking about.